The Ministers for Cooperative Governance, Velenkosini Hlabisa, and Basic Education, Sibiwe Khwagube, are in Umtata today. Newzroom Afrika's Liyema Vumisa is following their movements and joins us now. Liyema, good morning. I know that you're keeping an eye on the CoGTA Minister this morning. What's happened in respect of what he has found, people who are briefing him? You did mention earlier that near where you were at your earlier location, there was going to be a joint operations meeting. What have we learned?
Good morning once again, Iman, and of course to Newzroom Afrika viewers. As you rightfully mentioned there, the Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs Minister, that is Minister Hlabisa Velenkosini, is here at one of the locations of the scene of that devastating flooding that swept away some of the houses here just on the riverbanks of the stream that is here. I am now joined by the Minister together with the MEC in the province for CoGTA and also the local mayor then of King Sabata Dalingebo. Minister, you have descended to Umtata right here in this area. What have you witnessed so far?
Thank you very much, and good morning to viewers of.
All right, hopefully we can re-establish. There we go.
Beloved ones, to the local municipality, to the provincial government of Eastern Cape. This is very sad to witness 57 people who are now reported in terms of the report we received this morning. 57 is not just a figure. These are human bodies, some of whom were breadwinners and some of whom were the only children in their families. Now, we said we must be a government that is present to people. That is why we decided to come down from yesterday to be here today and tomorrow. The first thing that we are going to do is to visit those families we can be able to visit, but also to ensure that we visit the areas that were affected, because as CoGTA we need to intervene under disaster grants allocation. When we meet in the afternoon after lunch in a briefing, I will announce a date on which I'm coming back to intervene in terms of grants on the infrastructure that was affected. But the message that I want to convey to our people, the whole area where we are standing, all the houses were flooded. These people are on a riverbank, and this is a floodplain area. So now, the government, we must take a tough stance that everyone who is living on a floodplain must be removed. And we will need the cooperation of our people, because climate change is a reality now. Next week, we might experience similar floods in the same area, and we might lose more people. So now this must be a countrywide decision to ensure that as a government we take a hard stance, because these people were not allocated here by the municipalities, who should have considered the area where they are allocating people, and people decided to build on their own. And people will have to cooperate, that if another area, human settlement is being activated, but the truth, we cannot be able, even through human settlement, to build houses for all people on riverbanks simultaneously, when again other floods are coming. That is why it has to be an emergency resolution and decision, and we need to mobilize all three spheres of government, all political parties, because when floods occur, they don't choose in terms of politics. People are washed away, as we are experiencing in the area where we are. Now, we need to be decisive on this matter, that people on floodplains must be removed and be relocated somewhere, and people must cooperate, because This is their lives. And they tried on their means to build here. They need to do the same when they are allocated to safer areas, that for the sake of their lives, for the sake of their children. It becomes bad when parents are warned. So now everybody will have to be sober that which one do I choose? Do I choose to start afresh in a safe area, or I resist until another flood hits the area and it becomes a disaster? I do want to thank all our spheres of government for their cooperation, all departments for their cooperation, the public representatives, councillors, mayors, MECs, premier, ministers and deputy ministers who are on the ground and with whom every evening we are looking at the reports, providing solutions, all departments who are intervening in terms of water. The engineers have been deployed, and MISA is going to also to deploy the technical support so that the infrastructure that has been providing water, which has been affected, is attended at the earliest. That is why the earliest in July, I will announce the date in the afternoon, I am coming back in order to convey or release the grants that will be an intervention so that life is restored to its normalcy. We need a government that responds quickly when our people are involved in situations like these ones. Because in terms of awareness, sufficient information was conveyed. But people in this area say they have never experienced water to this level, and no one really knew they might be affected. That is why I'm going to the first point. All areas that are floodplains, whether people have seen it before, never saw it before, once our engineers throughout the country, throughout the municipality determine that this community is in a danger zone, that community will need to be removed. And I'm saying people should not have expectation that they will be reallocated for new accommodation. There will be no money to do so simultaneously. And even to build simultaneously cannot happen, yet disaster next week, it can come back. So now we need to be quick in terms of saving lives, to say people go to areas where it's going to be safe for you to be there. The government is committed in giving support, showing solidarity. Even the president, I will confirm in terms of the announcement in the afternoon, but I spoke to him and we agreed that tomorrow he will be here in order to ensure that sufficient support is mobilized and sufficient condolences and standing with the communities at a difficult hour is demonstrated by the government of the Republic.
We did, in fact, get confirmation, Minister, from the presidency with regards to the president's visit tomorrow. Thanks very much for that. I just wonder then, just for clarity, within government, both three spheres of government. You mentioned the number 57. Is that the new number then that is confirmed of the death toll right here in Tambo?
The figures are growing from time to time. 7 is the figure which is a combination not of only this area, but is a statistics for the entire Eastern Cape province in 3 different areas that have incurred the number of deaths over this flood period. And by the time when we meet at lunchtime, we will be also conveying the appropriate areas as to so many people from this municipality and so many, but the highly affected area is the one where we are with a figure of about 51 deceased people of this community.